What's going on, everybody? Chana D, your Techno Dad here. Got a cool video today for you. We're going to compare HDR10 and Dolby Vision and see which one's better. So we'll get into it right after the jump. And I'm back. What's the difference between HDR10 and Dolby Vision? Both of them are HDR formats. HDR10, however, is an open source kind of platform where anyone can make anything in HDR10 without any kind of licensing. Dolby Vision, on the other hand, you will need to get licensed from Dolby, whether you're a content creator or a manufacturer of TVs, Blu-ray players, Xboxes, PlayStations, whatever. So that's the first difference, really, is that Dolby Vision is proprietary and you need licensing, whereas HDR10 is an open platform where anyone can do their own R&D and put HDR10 into their TV or Blu-ray player. Whereas a TV manufacturer that wants Dolby Vision, they go to Dolby, they get the licensing. So now moving on to bit depth or color depth or whatever you want to call it. HDR10 has a 10-bit color spec and Dolby Vision has a 12-bit color spec. So what does this mean? This means that you're going to get more color out of the Dolby Vision or the 12-bit color. Kind of makes sense. So I scoured the internet and found some graphics. I'm going to put those up on the screen so you guys can check out exactly what we're talking about and see for yourself. I may have to resize the images for it to fit on the screen. I'll put the source files in the description so you can download them and see them at full res. So let's check out those slides. Here we have 8-bit has 256 levels. And you can see the gradient just underneath it. You can easily see the vertical bars in this black to white gradient. Moving on to 10-bit, as you can see, it's a lot smaller, and instead of 256 levels, we have 1024 levels. And looking at the black to white gradient here, you can still see vertical bars. They are a lot smaller, but not as easy to see. Now moving over to the 12-bit, we have now 4,096 levels. And from what I can tell, I do not see any vertical lines across this black to white gradient. Okay, next one. Here's kind of the same thing, but tones per channel. 8-bit has 256, 10-bit has 1024, and 12-bit has 4,095. That's kind of like what we saw in the previous slide, but now we're talking about total possible tones, and we go from 16.78 million on the 8-bit to 1.07 billion on the 10-bit, and the 12-bit has a possible 68.68 billion tones or colors. That's a hell of a lot. That's a lot. 68 billion. So it has 68 times the amount as a 10-bit color depth. That's pretty huge. All right, let's move on to the next slide here. Right, so this is reference color gambits. From left to right, we've got HD, which has Rec 709, DCI P3, which everybody's talking about right now, HDR10, and then we have Rec 2020 from Dolby Vision, and it said proposed but beyond what current TVs can do. Now this brings up a good point. Dolby has stated that Dolby Vision and the TVs currently out 2016, 2017 really won't take full advantage of Dolby Vision. And that's one of the things you kind of have to keep in mind. This is still an emerging technology. We're still at the very forefront of this whole HDR thing. In 2017, LG's OLEDs will support 4 different types of HDR. I spoke about this in my previous video for the 2017 CES. I'll put a link in the description so you guys can check that out if you haven't already. So on paper, Dolby Vision seems better. However, if you have an Xbox One S or a PS4 Pro, you need HDR10. So this kind of brings up a huge conundrum on what you want to buy, what you want to put your hard-earned money into, especially if you're going to buy a TV that's cost around $2,000 or more than $2,000. Like, you want to know, like, which one should I get? Should I get a Samsung that only has HDR10? Should I get a Sony that only has HDR10? Should I wait and get the Sony flagship that has both? Should I get an LG OLED that has both? Should I get an LG Super UHD TV that only has HDR10? That's what we're here to find out. So let's go into the test footage now. A little bit about the test footage. I was able to play Marco Polo from Netflix on the TV's Netflix app. Now the Netflix TV app has Marco Polo in Dolby Vision, whereas if I go to the Xbox One S, it has the HDR10 version. Why does it have these two different versions? It's because the Xbox One S only supports HDR10, so that's what it's going to output. My LG OLED E6 supports both. Kind of cool that the TV can do that. And we'll look at this footage and check it out. I've shot both the footage, obviously, on the LG OLED that I have, and it's been shot in 4K, 30 frames per second at 100 megabits. So make sure you change the little gear icon to 2160p, which is 4K, so you can see it at the highest resolution possible. All right, so let's get into the footage. All right, here we are. Sorry for the bad audio quality, but this is what we got. So in this first scene that we're going to take a look at here, this is Marco Polo. On the left we have Dolby Vision, and on the right we have HDR10, both shot on my LG OLED E6. We're talking about 12-bit color versus 10-bit color. Basically, what's the difference between HDR10 and Dolby Vision? And if you notice on the left, like these are like really, really subtle things. If you notice on the left, look at the ground. Look at the white spaces in between the like blue diamonds. Notice all the dirt. All right, where's my mouse? Here's a mouse. See all this dirt right here? Let's look at the HDR10 version. Notice there's not so much dirt. These are like the subtle details that you'll get with the Dolby Vision version of the exact same content. Since the color changes are so subtle here, you're not going to find them too much over here. Okay, that's the first one. That's the first one. Okay, next we have this scene here. As you can see here, we've got highlights that are coming through on the Dolby Vision version that we are not getting on the HDR10 version. Let's go forward just a little bit in time here. And you can see the highlight around the tree on the Dolby Vision version, but nothing on the HDR10 version. And this goes all the way from the highlight to like where the rider is on the horse, pretty much. All right, so now let's discuss the two different versions. As you saw, there is way more color gradation in the sky in the Dolby Vision version as opposed to the HDR10 version. Now that is something that the content creators had total control over, and that's why we get more out of Dolby Vision than we do out of HDR10. So this begs the following two questions. Which one's better, and which one do you need? And for me, which one do I like better? Well, I like the Dolby Vision better. There's more depth of color, there's more gradations in things like the sky. Is it something that's necessary? No, it's not necessary. Is it going to detract from your movie viewing experience? No, it's not. So on to our next question, which one do you need? Well, so far, if you like to play video games, you're really only going to be required to have HDR10. And then there's that philosophical question, well, I get HDR10, I'm not going to see anything in Dolby Vision. Am I going to be missing anything that I don't know exists? Do you know what I mean? Do you feel me on that one? Like, are you going to notice something that's not there? That's really pretty much what it boils down to. So it's really just up to you on which one you get. Like I said before, and even like Dolby has stated, the TVs nowadays, 2016, 2017, aren't going to take full advantage of Dolby Vision. Not for another 3-4 years. Is it really that big of a deal? For some people, yes. For some people, no. It's totally subjective. I liked all the extra cool color. And if I had the option to watch something in Dolby Vision as opposed to HDR10, I'll watch it in Dolby Vision. So what does this mean about buying TVs? If your budget allows it, if you can get a TV that has both HDR10 and Dolby Vision, then you're set and you don't really have to worry about it. However, if there's more content coming out in Dolby Vision on, let's say, 4K ultra high definition Blu-ray, if they start making more content that's Dolby Vision specific, then maybe you might want to think about getting a different kind of ultra high definition Blu-ray player, like maybe the Oppo 203 or whichever one of the new ones that are coming out by Sony or an LG that actually support Dolby Vision. It's up to you to decide like what you need, what you want. And that's pretty much it for this video. So thank you so much for watching. Please give it a thumbs up if you liked it. Subscribe to my channel if you find my stuff informative. And feel free to ask any questions in the comments below. I answer them to the best of my ability as fast as I can. And I know my wife really hates it. What are you doing on your phone? I'm like, I'm answering questions. Again, my name is Chana D. I'm your Techno Dad, and I'll see you next time.